What's happening, fam? Oh man, L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled These Things Stole Your Social Skills. And it's not just my imagination. There are things in life that are happening that we seem to forget that how to interact with other human beings. And I'm just going to point out what I believe are some of the things that stole your social skills. First and foremost, religion. Brothers, we've talked about this for a while. Some of the sisters have been talking about it in the last couple of years also. Sometimes people who are too religious, churchy, don't have social skills outside of church. You know, you got to be holy. You got to be sanctified. Because if you can't, God told me I can't talk to you. And that's further from the truth. A lot of times, God is a scapegoat for you to not communicate with another human being. You know, and for some people who don't understand what I'm about to say or have just said, you got to ask yourself, when you're like, do you go to church? Oh, I can't talk to you. If you do, I can talk to you. Which church? Pentecostal? Apostolic? What does that have to do with having a conversation with a human being? Nothing. You don't go to church? The pastor said, the God said I can't talk to you. Okay. Well, you know, I'm looking for somebody, but the world is bigger than your church. So you might have to meet people outside of your church if you're looking for somebody. But, you know, they got to do all the churchy things that I've been told a good man or a good woman is supposed to do. See, here's the problem with that. You have people who are spiritual people who may not go to church, who actually put in the work to help and love their fellow man. And you got people who are in the church religiously who don't do anything to help their fellow man. And you know, people always say that church is like a hospital. You know, it helps the sick. But if you're always at the hospital, that means you're always sick. See, well people are out in the world. And I know there's some nutcases in the world. I get that. But what I'm saying is, you know, you have to interact with other people. And church and the Bible shouldn't be in the way of you actually getting to know another human being. It's killing your social skills because you got to qualify everything through Ephesians and Psalms and Proverbs just to have a conversation. That's not cool. The other thing that stole your social skills was politics. You know, I don't like the liberal talking point. I don't like the conservative talking point. Because how can you have a conversation with a person? You know, people say, you know, some of the biggest things to stay away from when you're talking to people is what? Religion and politics, right? So it hinders your social skills because you're so ingrained, you're so dug in to your political beliefs that you can't see past that to talk to the human being in front of you. Or they have to be in your political, your same party or your same party's ideology for you to actually interact with them. Which means, you know, you are looking for one-trick ponies. And you'll never be able to interact socially because all you're doing is checking off, do you believe what I believe? Are you in the party that I'm in? Are you in the faction of the party that I'm in? You believe this ideology? Okay, so I'm not really with that, but I understand some of the talking points. You know, because truth be told, if a conservative has a conversation with a liberal or a liberal have a conversation with a conservative, they both make true and honest points that are valid to bettering our society. They do. The fact that you don't want to listen to those points because you're a conservative, so I'm a la 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 la. You're a liberal, la la la. That is childish, and that stole your social skills. Let's move a little forward. Another thing that stole your social skills was education. Sometimes education can be a form of assimilation and indoctrination. And when you're sitting there talking to people, do you have a diploma? Do you have a degree? Do you have a master's? Do you have a PhD? Here's the problem. Nothing is wrong with having an education. But just because you have an education doesn't necessarily mean you're smart. So when you're trying to qualify somebody's intelligence by their education, it's really a crapshoot. It's a hit or miss thing. It's not a, and I say this because of this. There are a lot of college educated people who cheated their way through college. A lot. So there are a lot of college educated people who are just not that bright. And though they have a degree, that doesn't mean that they earned it. They might have been passed through or manipulated through or cheated through or cried through. Not everybody's not necessarily the smartest. And for you to not talk to certain people because they didn't get an education, besides, this is like a capitalistic society. So the thing about that is there are people who learned it and there are people who can do it. So if you just want to hang around people who learn things, I understand it. But if you want to be around people who produce and do things, they're not going to all be formally educated. That's just the reality of it. So, you limit what you can talk about and who you can talk to because you have limiting beliefs about the society that you think you're in, So I think it hinders your social skills because it's just another religion, politics, education are just nuances to what I'm about to talk about next, which is class. Because it's all just a different, you're not interacting with people because you feel like you're in a caste system and they're not on your level. So when you go to class, then you have people who lost their social skills because they feel like, maybe you're not in my class. You're not upper class. You're not middle class. Or you're poor. And it's one thing to say that, people can't relate because of their class, just like they can't relate because of their education, just like they can't relate because of their politics, just like they can't relate because of their religion. It's another thing to not be open to the idea that you and another human being have common ground, even though you might have different views and come from different places or be at a different space in life. Common ground doesn't live in your caste system. Okay? So it's, the classism really stole your social skills because you only know how to deal with this person. And I'll say it to you like this. If you're the business owner, you won't continue to make money if you don't understand demographics and you don't understand analytics and you don't understand your customers because all your customers are not going to fit a particular mold. So you're not going to, I don't know how to, I only know how to serve my white collar customers. I don't know how to serve my blue collar customers. I only know how to serve my 6-figure and up customers. I don't know how to serve my $99,000 to $50,000 a year customers or my $49,000 a year customers to my poor customers. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to take their money and treat them properly. See, that's the problem. because in essence, you're the CEO of your own life. And, you know, your life is providing a service for somebody and other than yourself. So if you're here and you don't know how to relate to other people because you stuck in your caste system, it stole your social skills. You know, one of the other things that may have, you know, and you can say the flip side of that, you know, some people are insecurity. I have to get into that one. Insecurity stole your social skills because sometimes you can be, instead of having a superiority complex, you can have an inferiority complex. And because of your inferiority complex, you're too scared to speak. You're too scared to say hello. You're nervous because you don't feel like you belong. You don't have enough respect for yourself to carry yourself properly, and you make other people uncomfortable, you know? And your insecurity stole your social skills. You know, even the people who are trying to cope by being over the top. You know, people could tell you're not really comfortable in your own skin and you're not confident because you're doing too much to exude confidence. People know that it's a facade. So what ends up happening is you really don't know how to interact with other people. And a lot of times people don't talk about it because a lot of people are comfortable with the level they're at and they try to create a circle of people that fit in their bubble. But then their bubble is not necessarily who they are because they really box themselves in. You know, and then when they want to reach outside of their comfort zone, they can't do it because guess what? They don't have the social skills to go outside of their comfort zone because they put all of these little barriers in between them and other people, and they put barriers between other people that they come to find out watching from afar they really do like and appreciate and want to get to know. But now it's counterproductive, it's embarrassing, it's hypocritical to go from this thing because now you're living in an extreme and going over here it looks like an extreme because you can't navigate through life because you got your social skills stolen from you or you just lost them. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on this subject. God bless. We out.